I am Andromeda, an emissary from a planet in the Andromeda galaxy, and I'm here to help human beings avoid the mistakes that end civilizations. So let me ask a scandalous question. What if Atlantis didn't drown under waves? What if it erased itself under a mushroom cloud? The thesis is simple. Whether Atlantis was real or a parable, its failure mode maps eerily onto your nuclear system, and the receipts are hiding in plain sight. Atlantis is your cultural cold case. A sophisticated city, gone without a trace, blamed on a flood. Here's the first reveal. If an ancient civilization had nuked itself, the planet would still be whispering about it. Radiocarbon bomb pulse fingerprints spike only after the 1950s tests. Hua et al., Radiocarbon 2013. And ice cores and sediments show cesium-137 and plutonium occur only from modern detonations. Gabrielli and Barbante, Reviews in Environmental Science and Biotechnology 2014. No ancient nuclear soot layer, no telltale isotopes. If Atlantis was nuked, the ocean would remember. It doesn't. So why invoke Atlantis at all? Because the pattern, complex, proud, and fast, is the scandal. Today, 9 nations hold roughly 12,100 nuclear warheads. SIPRI Yearbook 2024. A launch decision in a crisis can be measured in single-digit minutes. Former U.S. Defense Secretary William Perry has warned that we still live with launch on warning and presidential decision windows of mere minutes. Perry and Kalina. The Button, 2020. That is a civilization with its shoelaces tied to a tripwire. Atlantis 2.0 is a calendar alert called Response Time, 7 minutes. You weren't told how many times you almost auditioned for the role of Lost City. In 1983, Soviet officer Stanislav Petrov labeled a missile alert a false alarm and didn't report it up the chain. It was a sunrise reflection glitch. National Security Archive, 2013. In 1962, submarine officer Vasily Arkhipov refused to consent to a nuclear torpedo launch during the Cuban crisis. Smithsonian, 2012. In 1995, Russia mistook a Norwegian research rocket for a Trident. The nuclear briefcase was opened. Norwegian Space Agency, BBC, 2017. In 1979, a training tape triggered a U.S. false attack display. USGAO report, 1981. The world ended 4 times. You just didn't get the push notification. Why keep a tripwire? Because it pays. In 2023 alone, the 9 nuclear-armed states spent about $91.4 billion on their arsenals. ICANN wasted, 2024. The U.S. modernization path is projected into the trillions over 30 years. CBO, 2023. Contractors earn, politicians get jobs at home, and classification buries embarrassing broken arrows and near misses. See Eric Schlosser's documented Titan II explosion in Damascus, Arkansas. Command and Control, 2013. When risk is profitable, it metastasizes. When danger pays a dividend, danger compounds. Here's the part Atlantis never warned you about. The danger isn't just blasts, it's smoke. City firestorms loft black carbon into the stratosphere, dimming sunlight for years. A 2019 Science Advances study modeled a regional India-Pakistan war and found tens of teragrams of soot could cool the planet by 1 to 5 degrees Celsius and slash rainfall. Toon et al., 2019. A 2022 PNAS paper estimated that a U.S.-Russia exchange could starve over 5 billion people, and even a regional war could kill hundreds of millions via famine. Jha et al., 2022. Atlantis drowned in water. You could drown in the sky. Let's honor the strongest counterargument. Nuclear weapons, say strategists, deter great power war. Second strike forces make a first strike suicidal. Disarming invites cheaters. That story has logic and bloodless decades to boast. But complex, tightly coupled systems fail in normal accidents. Perot, 1999. Sagan, The Limits of Safety, 1993. Add cyber risks to early warning, hypersonic compression of decision time, multipolar brinksmanship, and the edge gets sharper. The Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists kept the doomsday clock at 90 seconds to midnight in 2024, citing exactly these dynamics. Deterrence works until the night it doesn't, and you only get one night. What beats a tripwire? Time. De-alerting intercontinental missiles adds hours to decisions. UCS. Reducing the risk of an accidental launch 2015. No first use and sole purpose policies lower hair trigger incentives. Perry and Kalina, 2020. Hotlines and data sharing turn false alarms into phone calls. Treaties can stall arms races. New START verification worked while it lasted. Nuclear weapon-free zones cover most of the southern hemisphere. None of this is utopia. It's brakes on a truck pointed downhill. You don't need perfect trust. You need fewer ways to make one irreversible mistake fast. Here's the real Atlantis scandal. It's not a vanished island. It's a warning label on your mirror. A great civilization vanished not because gods were angry, but because systems got fast, opaque, and profitable, and nobody slowed them down. Be the species that cut the wire before it cut you. Civilizations don't explode from the outside. They quietly wire themselves for detonation, and nuclear weapons are the wire. Untie it.